Hey guys, I wanted to go ahead and record a little bit more of a serious video. A lot of my videos are super upbeat and fun, and they all have to do with like my pregnancy symptoms and everything like that. But I do want to go ahead and talk about a topic that I bring up a lot in some of my update videos. The reason I'm going to go ahead and do this now is because this issue hasn't started affecting me yet, and I'm trying to get out some videos before it does start affecting me. I am halfway through my pregnancy, which means that my pregnancy is going to start getting really, really difficult here in the future. Just a couple weeks from now, I'm going to start having all kinds of different issues. I am considered high risk, and I just have a bunch of different health issues that kind of make things a little bit hard. The biggest reason that I wanted to put out this video now is because there's probably a lot of people that have suffered from this or are going to be suffering from this, and I want to make sure that I make the information available to you before I start suffering from it, so that while I am suffering from these issues, I can give you my updates and I can tell you what I'm doing to help it. This issue that I'm referring to is called Symphysis pubis dysfunction, or pubic symphysis dysfunction, depending on how your doctor might call it. There are a couple of other different names for it, but this is how my doctors and how I refer to it. You've got like your hip bones and everything in their sockets, and then if you ever look at like a picture of anatomy where your hip bones are and where like your pubic bone is, it kind of comes together like this. And then in the center of this, there is a piece of cartilage that sits right in the center, like right here. And when you have this disorder, your body releases a chemical called relaxin, which is, everybody releases relaxin when you're pregnant. That's what helps your hips expand and kind of lets everything get loosey-goosey in there so that you can push the baby out. And for people like me who react really well to it or produce too much of it, when your hips start to widen, this pubic bone goes with it. So instead of like everything else in your hips starting to widen and expanding and leaving that bone where it is, when your hips start to widen, it just starts to pull apart, and it puts a lot of stress on that cartilage that's in the middle. So if you think of like when you stretch out a rubber band really far and then it finally just snaps, that can happen. Now, fortunately for me, mine has not snapped or broken or anything like that. I was kind of borderline almost needing surgery for it the first time around, but luckily it didn't get bad enough for that. I will tell you, people who don't suffer from this don't understand the magnitude of how painful this actually is. If you know somebody that's suffering from this, please, please, please be nice to them, because it is excruciatingly painful. I go through all of my labors and deliveries without any pain medication. Now keep that in mind. I've had 2 kids now with no epidural, no pain medication, nothing. And this pain from this issue is almost comparable to that. And the reason I say that is not only is it extremely, extremely painful when it's on the level that I have it, but it's constant. If you sit down, it hurts. If you stand up, it hurts. If you lay down, it hurts. If you're walking, it hurts. There is nothing that anybody could do for me to prevent the pain. There's nothing. Once it starts happening, I am in this pain until almost 2 months after I have the baby. Now this time around, I may try some form of physical therapy, but we're going to see how it is when it starts and just kind of like play it by ear. But what makes it so hard, and a lot of people tell me all the time that I am ungrateful that I can become pregnant or that I am pregnant because I dislike being pregnant so much. But most people in their pregnancies can continue doing what they do every day. It's not an issue. For somebody who suffers from this, like myself, when I get to be about 30 weeks pregnant, I need help getting in bed, out of bed, going to the bathroom, taking a shower. I need somebody to dress me, because even if I sit down, like say I sit on the toilet, I can't lift my legs up high enough to put pants on. Somebody has to put pants on for me. I can't bend over to do the dishwasher. I can't mop the floor. I can barely walk. I'm almost wheelchair bound when this happens to me. And so, no, I don't enjoy being pregnant. And unfortunately, that's just how it is for me. It really hurts. and it's not fun. Some of the symptoms of this are actually physically hearing a cracking or grinding sound in your pelvic area, or when you're walking you might hear it click, 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 click. If you're unable to walk straight and you kind of like walk sideways or like shuffle sideways because it doesn't hurt as bad if you do that, that's definitely a symptom. Being unable to like lift your legs because it hurts your pelvic area. And this is, I'm not talking about the hips, so let me show you. So if you have like hip pain here or here, like in this area or back here, that's not at all what it is. It's right here, like right where the seam of your pants comes up, right here. That is where it is, and it's like the size of your thumb, about right here. I know this looks really weird right now, but right here, and it's about that big. It is a burning, stinging, throbbing sensation. It can be mild, but a lot of the times it is an extreme pain, and it can also start causing depression due to the fact that you are unable to do your everyday activities and you may become immobile. If you have to be sent for testing in order to be diagnosed with this, a lot of times it can be done through an x-ray, which if you're pregnant, you can't really do, and MRIs, or sometimes they can see it in an ultrasound. A lot of time, chiropractors can help out with it as well. They might be able to diagnose it or even try to kind of set your body so that it's not quite as painful, or try to adjust you to give you some temporary relief. Now the really, really unfortunate part, and probably the thing that if you are here watching this because you're suffering from this or you fear that you may be suffering from this in the future, is the treatments. There are no treatments for this, unfortunately. I wish there were. I wish there was something I could tell you to say, hey, this is how you fix the issue, but there's not. You can go to do physical therapy to help strengthen your pelvic floor, which can help alleviate some of the pain, but unfortunately it doesn't fix the issue. The other thing that's really sad about having this issue is if you do end up having an extreme case like I almost had in my first pregnancy, you can have surgery only after the baby is delivered, and this is to help stabilize your pelvic bone. However, according to the research that I've read and what I've been told by different doctors, the success rate of this surgery is actually very poor, and it a lot of times does not fix the issue. A couple of the things to help prevent this or to kind of push the symptoms back a little bit further, which I have been trying this pregnancy. I'm actually 2 weeks further in this pregnancy without the issues than I have been in my other pregnancies, is if you are going to be doing some sort of work, try to sit down as much as you can, and don't do a lot of lifting. So for example, I currently work from home, so I'm sitting. I have the option of standing or sitting while I work, and I choose to sit. Also, a lot of times when I'm cooking dinner, I'll actually just push a chair up to my stove and I'll sit on the chair and I'll cook dinner that way. Some of the best tips to consider with this issue is to avoid heavy lifting, which can be very difficult if you're somebody like me with 2 toddlers, and to avoid stepping over things. So don't like jump over things or step over like really wide things to like create a shortcut, like go around things, because lifting your legs up and trying to like take those wider steps can actually pull things and stretch things apart, and that is not what we want to do when we are suffering from this. Some advice when you're sleeping is when you go to roll over, you want to make sure that you keep your knees glued together. So like your knees are bent like this, try to keep them glued together when you roll over. If you try to roll over with one leg and then the next leg, you're going to end up stretching that bone, and it's going to be very painful as you roll over. So try to roll over with your legs bent and glued together. That should help a little bit in the night. You can also sleep with a pillow in between your legs as well. The other thing along with this issue is that this is more of an inflammation type issue. So when that bone starts to pull apart and the cartilage gets stretched, it starts to get inflamed, and it's not safe to take any type of anti-inflammatory medications. So there aren't really any medications for it that can be provided to help with pain relief other than like Tylenol and your typical pain medications, which don't do anything for this type of severe pain. They just don't help at all. So there's not really a whole lot of medications that you can take. Other than that, that's about all I have to say about this issue. I wanted to go ahead and put the video out there because I do have a lot of subscribers that ask about it, but I also know that there are probably a lot of people out there searching for answers or that may have questions on it, and I want to let you know that you are not alone. Some people think that this is an issue that only pertains to them, and although it is more of a rare condition. There are still a lot of us out there that have it, and some of us have it super severe, and others might just have a mild form of it. But either way, it's incredibly painful, and I am sorry that you have to go through it if you are going through this. And if you need any support or you have any questions at all, please feel free to contact me. And like I said, I will be giving you guys a lot of updates in the next 20-ish weeks about how it is going for me and things that I am doing to help prevent the pain, or just anything that I can do to kind of like alleviate the pain, and information that I might be able to provide to help somebody else out. I want to be a support system for those of you that are going through this, because like I said, I know how horrible it is to go through this, and it makes it very difficult on the pregnancy and just makes it hard to enjoy anything that you do. And so I want to be there for you and support you. So give this video a big thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.